Hi, Corbin. Mr. Bash here. A few ideas as you put together the final draft of your paper. I would say that in your first paragraph, what kind of stands out to me is a couple of things that'll strengthen this. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure if I'm reading what will in the end be your first paragraph, but we'll assume that it is for right now. I would begin maybe replacing the question to kick this off with more of that, thinking of it in terms of that sort of they say idea that sets up the quote by Bekhechi. Um, so I think the idea might be, could certainly begin with what the attitude most people think about zoos, that they're places for children, the animals well taken care of, it's a place where people can connect with nature, it's a family tradition, that sort of thing. I mean, that's really the mindset that you're going to have to take on somewhere or the other. I know you do bring up some of those points, and that's a good strategy. But beginning with what most people think of when they think of zoos might be an interesting way to begin. If at that point you kind of point out that this idea that animals are unhealthy and et cetera, et cetera. All right, so we'll leave it at that. Um, Down here where you say this quote from Bekhechi, you could just say Bekhechi gives an idea. I mean, this quote. So the idea is don't call the quote a quote. And that's sort of what happens in the next paragraph. I'll get to that in a minute. End of the last section of chapter 3 of They Say, I Say is about that. Don't call your quotes quotes. You want to be introducing your quotes with signal phrases, and Bekhechi gives an idea of the drastic differences is fine. Now, your first paragraph then ends with that. It doesn't end with the claim. And so that idea that, even though, zoos may have done some good in the world, I don't know what you want to begin with, but if you are actually claiming that zoos should be shut down, then you've got to make that claim at the end of the first paragraph. All right. Now, in the part that you've written, it seems like you've got a kind of strategy at play, and let me just talk about how that can be a useful strategy. And that is, though some may argue zoos prevent animals from becoming threatened, now, the though does the job that however is doing. Both of them, you don't need both of them. You can either say some may argue that zoos prevent animals from becoming threatened, semicolon, however, most animals, or though just becomes a comma. But these two words do the same job, but you can't have them both in the same sentence. Decide which one you'll use. So here where you're going, Draven goes on to include another quote and another, which is implied another quote from Bekhechi. So it sounds like you're just kind of going from quote to quote. You want to be going from idea to argument to or position or claim or something like that. So calling these ideas quotes really diminishes what they are and kind of distracts from the point you're trying to make. Okay. So what I would kind of suggest you do is to find a source that makes this claim about animals and extinction and saving species and that kind of thing. And then have Travers, or let me see. Yeah, this is Travers is the one you're quoting. You can include Draven in the parentheses at the end of the quote to cite Draven for your works cited page. If it is, so Will Travers makes the point that only 15% of the thousands of species held in zoos are considered threatened, and then you'd have Dravers in parentheses. I put the period in there and then make the Bekhechi a different sentence. All right. But the point is, find a source that makes the claim that they're arguing against. And that's, when you say some may argue, well, who's making that argument? Because including the sources that are making the other point of view helps your credibility as a writer. The same strategy might happen here when it's talking about learning about animals. Okay, well, again, somebody's going to make the case perhaps for the educational aspect of this, but then it looks like Buhardi comes in and makes a separate claim. So you can have your sources kind of arguing against each other. You think about that summary reaction assignment we did, where you're really presenting two different points of view and then responding between them. That's kind of the way that works, or can help you here. And of course, I mean, you're getting to your conclusion at about 700 words in, and you're going to need more content. And part of that content is either going to be additional reasons, or it could be additional discussion of between the different sources. I suppose one of the things you might get at is, especially with this endangered species idea or threatened species idea, is the sense that if people really, really want to help animals that are threatened, zoos are not the answer. It's habitat protection. That certainly seems to, if that idea has been opened up here, it is a way for you to go in and talk about, having zoos in central North Carolina is not going to save rhinos. It's having, land preserves in Kenya is the important part. So you might look into furthering that idea. This in identifying information only appears on page 1, so you've probably done this as part of a header. Just do the name as part of the header, the page number. This part only, the first line of typing is on the first page. This goes here. Just make sure it doesn't appear on the rest of it. And in this one National Geographic article, I'm not quite sure, this appears to be the byline for the photograph. I'm not sure how this got in your citation. So delete this part. If there's no author, begin with the title. But go back and take a look again and see if there is an actual author attached to this. Right now, I'm going to have a lot of difficulty, though, connecting either one of these two articles to, let me see if you included the titles. Curse of Captivity. Yeah, okay, there you did include the title. All right, that's a good idea. So that gives you the quote by Buharki, and the other one, yeah, it looks like these two quotes, if they, yeah, you've got this guy Draven in your text, but you don't have a Draven on your works cited page. So if Draven's responsible for this article, you'd be in good position. Just make sure that guy's name goes here, or woman's name, whoever Draven is. All right. So that's what I see so far. If you have any other questions or want me to take another look, I'll probably be online Sunday, seeing if folks have having issues. All right. Take care.